Hey guys, it's Will. Hopefully you're having a great Thursday. So today we're going to go over BigBear.AI stock. And one thing to note here, we have this cup. I don't know if you guys have seen this before. It is got some plans and then it has like an expo setup so you can write your take profit and your stop loss. And it's got a cool Stockmate logo there as well. And one thing that we've been doing is we're sending these out, these cups, to all of our Stockmate members that are in the top three. Here it is: Lawrence, Matt Evans, Lee. And sometimes the best insights come from the investors here. There's some good press releases, and we're sending out that cup to our top members. If you guys ever want to tune on into our live trading, it's the second link in the description, as lifetime access is open right now. So when it comes to the profit plan, we were just using it this morning. This is the exact calculator you saw on the phone, except this is the digital version. It's totally free if you want to claim it and use it as much as you want. It's in the first link in the description below. But we were entering a trade this morning before Big Bear. We sold our shorts on IONQ, IONZ, and then AMD stock. As we like to see this overall uptrend continue, we jumped into AMDL. And this morning, I think we're still up. Yeah, we're up about $229 from our live trading this morning. And we used this calculator. In fact, you could see where we set our stop loss here. Just 5 cents below our entry at $9.63 is where we set our stop here. So we are going $9.63, which was only risking about 0.5%. And we're going for about 5 to 10%, which right now we are up to $10. So we're up, let's see, I think we're up a little bit over 3 or 4% at this time after that big dip we saw this morning on AMD. So we can actually go ahead and move our stop loss up to this previous resistance. And we have a stop market order there for 619 shares. Maybe that executes here unless it can hold above that moving average. Then we continue to hold it throughout the day. But that's been a good trade this morning. So BigBear.AI, there's a couple things to watch with the company. The first thing that we're watching here is this recent correction down. And we see them overall have an uptrend continuing. And from $1 a share, we started covering them. They're reaching back up into these highs that we saw back in February, around $10 a share, and then in early summer, around $8 a share. And then recently, we saw them start to pull back down, and we were kind of talking about this yesterday, that we have this overall uptrend, but that we could see them pull back down into this support level, and this kind of pocket around $7 a share would be conservatively the move, but would be a good move for them to sell down to. So we don't worry about anything here long term. We continue to add to the long term. It's a very steady growth stock that we continue to buy and hold long term. But on the short term, the levels to watch here, if you are investing in short term, you need a plan for sure. And the previous resistance is at $7 a share. They're looking to bounce around $7, and the next kind of level that we would see them get up into would most likely be around here, a bounce up into this $7.50 to $8 to $9 range. It's an 18% increase from here, but they are down about 7% today, and they are holding below this EMA, which is okay, but we do not see the confirmation of a reversal or continuation of the trend. We see them pressing down, and potentially, if they can't hold that $7 range, watching next levels of support down here at about, let's see where we're at here, about $6.30, a previous support and resistance for Big Bear. But overall, we're looking at them potentially holding this $7 range, and we're going to watch them throughout the day. Markets started off pretty choppy, and we saw them kind of sell down today. However, when we look at Big Bear's moves, as they continue to rally back up into the $7, $8 range, we have to consider, we kind of pointed it out yesterday, this is a resistance that they reached, this $8.50 level. And last time it reached it, we kind of talked about this yesterday, it sold down to $6 or $7 and then down to $6. Same thing again when it reached it later in the summer, it pulled down to $7 and then down to 6. So right now we see it here. It's pulled down from that $8.50 range back down to $7. And so while the bull case here is that they hold the $7 range and continue that reversal back up, we have to watch institutional buying, see if it continues. There is some things working in their favor. They have the TSA request for information potentially here that they're going to be securing as they do the biometrics and the technology for AI-driven threat detection and checked baggage. So biometric ID verification tools is what the government's looking for. With their CEO, previously the U.S. Department of Homeland Security acting secretary there, it puts them in a unique position for the computer vision technology that they're deploying at the airports. We've seen it firsthand. You've probably seen it if you've been traveling. Have you gone through and they scan your face? Probably. If you're at LAX, Denver, JFK, Nashville is one of the recent ones, Chicago, the list really goes on. Even if it's like international, Heathrow or what have you, they are deploying them there. And so we've seen not just this very scan deploy aggressively ahead of the World Cup and the Olympics that are coming to the US as they're looking to get better AI driven surveillance, I would say, from everybody coming in out of the US. Your best shots at understanding the company is to understand that they are processing large amounts of data with AI so that the US government doesn't have to rely as much on manual labor. So, for example, imagine seeing all the air traffic, but not just the air traffic. Imagine seeing all the marine traffic. They recently signed a deal this last week to monitor all the marine traffic, create a coherent view of operational space. And then, of course, for Big Bear is the financials were looking a little bit lower in the income statement. So when you look at the income statements, increasing year over year, even if it was just a little bit, okay, just a little bit year over year, but still increasing. Then you get into the annual or looking at the revenue last quarter, they came in negative on the net income significantly. However, on paper, that's how it looked from a restructuring standpoint where they're going. It wasn't too worrying as their assets here, their blue assets to liabilities, their assets have gone up to $600 million now, which is a high for the company right now. So market cap 2.6 billion. We see institutional investors increase positions after their recent earnings. That's kind of what's driven them up to this $8.50 range. We do see some institutional sell-off kick in here as they've sold back down to the $7 range. Now, if we get an analysis, let's actually get an analysis here on BigBear.AI. Let's jump in with OpenAI for now, but we do use Grok, we use Gemini and Claude. And if you guys are looking to get the full breakdown on how to use AI to do your analysis, you can always see this is a software we've put together here, Mercatus, that is changing the way we do our analysis. It's looking at financials, all that stuff. You could see the projections here. Some of the projections they have here for Big Bear are projecting it to go down another 1.5%. Now, in the past, we've seen a lot of bullish momentum on Big Bear, a lot of bullish momentum. But right now, over the next month, we do see some potential pullbacks here on Big Bear in the near term. Now, I think when we're looking at this projection down on OpenAI, it can vary because we also, we can look at Grok or Claude and get an idea of what's going in. I think Gemini is probably a good one to look at. Let's take a look at Gemini as they could consider a lot more articles. We have a few new widgets here we added. We have the Congress Watch here. Okay, we have the financials, AI chat for which model. Looks like Gemini is actually bearish as well there on Big Bear. So we've seen some sentiment change after this massive surge, right? So we're seeing a little bit of a correction anticipation. And so that would be our sell down here that we'd anticipate potentially if they don't hold this $7 range. down into that $6.40 range. It's possible, but right now they're holding the $7 support, that previous resistance. So while it could be the top and we see them start to do what they did last time when they reached 850, and then we see them conservatively pull back down in this greater kind of uptrend that they've had, that's healthy too, just something to consider. So the other thing we can look at is we just added into Mercatus some really cool things. One of them is the press releases. So now not only can we get company news here, and it's always refreshing. It's always bringing the best articles. You can see that new naval a contract that they got that just came out yesterday. You can see all the news, and we can jump into press releases as well, which we're dialing in, as well as sentiment and some other things which are exciting for the ChatGPT model. But this is over on Gemini, so we're looking at projections that are a little bit on the bearish side after this shoot up. So I would urge caution. We haven't entered any short-term positions, but I have a long-term position at $2.80. I know a lot of you have. I've rode that up to 10 and back down to 2 before. And I'm okay riding it back down as well, as it's just a long-term position that we continue to add to. In the short term for you, if you're looking at this opportunity, absolutely, could it bounce? Yes. We could be here tomorrow and say, look at this, it bounced. We're continuing back up into $9, $10 a share. That could be a possibility. But one thing to consider is the current contracts, while they're increasing, while they're getting more of the Veriscan technology and more of their AI deployments in place, and all those things, they still haven't seen it show up on the balance sheet or the revenue just yet. So we could see a little bit of a delay until next earnings, see how it comes in before they really solidify that $7 to $10 price point. They've touched it quite a few times this year, but for them to solidify that price point might take a little more fundamental power or a little more financial power on the balance sheet and the financials to really give those institutions that confidence. But we do see them prepare for, again, the World Cup, which is a big event, and the Olympics as well, which there's a large demand for the homeland security side of things and being able to see all the people coming in and out of the US, where they're coming from, where they're going, documenting it digitally. So that's where the value long term is really looking good for Big Bear. So short term, watching this level, it's a key level at $7. We'd like to see a bullish increase, but again, just being able to have some grace here and say, hey, we could see it break this pattern here, as it's still holding the pattern, but we could see it break down to that $6.50 range, as that's the next support there. Just keep that in mind as an investor. So again, this morning, even though we saw some market corrections, we like to trade AI, defense, quantum, robotic stocks. If that's you, if you're trying to learn how to invest in data center companies, drone tech, AI defense, all those things, this morning we ended up shorting a quantum stock, which was IonQ, which we have long-term positions. IONZ is what we traded. It's up 15% today. So that was a great trade. We closed it out. And then we got into AMD, as I mentioned earlier, over in the AI space. And so we share all of our investments and trades every morning at market open. And there's over 25 individuals with a net worth of over $1 million in StockMate. So if you want access to those things, learning materials, how to invest in fundamental technical analysis, all those things with AI, quantum computing, tech companies, that's our main focus. And we also have targets for the week. But you can also get our live trading tomorrow morning, and it's the second link in the description below. I appreciate you all. If I earned your thumbs up, hit the like button. Do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.